What's going on, guys? Welcome to this video. In this one, we're going to talk about Replit. So since this is something that we're going to be using pretty much in half of our course here, I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about it. I want to show you how do you set it up and how do you actually start a project in there if you need to and all that stuff. So with that being said, let's get it started. Again, there's a link to Replit. If you haven't made an account already, make sure you do that. You just want to go to the replit.com. I'm going to leave a link for you guys. Just go sign up and you just can open an account with the Google, or you can just create a custom account for yourself. Either way, that should do it. So again, also it's a free account. So that's going to take you to your profile and it's going to look a little bit different, but the idea here is that you can just start coding without any, setup or anything like that, which is just going to make our life a lot easier. Now with Replit, okay, there are a few things I want to talk about. First of all, you can actually fork a code. In case if you're not familiar, what is a fork is essentially when you make a copy of a code to your own or for yourself to just make it something different. So for our lessons, we actually have a lot of Replit codes that you can actually fork. For example, for the first section, which in this section we're going to talk about printing, we have a code that you can fork. So when you actually click the link, again, there's another link in the description or in the resource section of this lesson. And when you open it, it's going to look like this. So you can actually click fork Replit and it's going to actually copy this into your account. So that is basically that. It's a pretty simple function and you just click on it and again, it's going to make a copy of it. And that copy is going to look like this. So this is essentially where you actually work with your code, right? In Replit, again, this is where you write the code and this is where you see the results of the code. So I just want to quickly go over this quick and explain some stuff. Here you can see the files. So when you write a code or like when you're building something, you are going to have a file structure. So you can actually create folders, you can create files. In our case, since we're starting with really basic stuff, we're not going to go over that stuff right now, but you can actually create a new file. You can actually create a new folder if you'd like, and all that stuff where you can store your files and stuff like that. So that's basically what that section is for. Again, we're not going to do anything about that at the moment. And also you can actually click this to, hide that area, hide that sidebar if you want to see the entire section. Now, if you go to this section, the tools section, you can see a thing called settings, and this is where you want to look at some stuff. So the first thing is that the layout of this section. So I have it stacked, but you can also do side by side, by the way. So like, take a look. Or you can actually just drag it like this if you want. So some people want to have it that way. And again, it's useful if you want to, like if you have a long code and you want to make sure that you see the entire code here, so you can have it stacked. So again, like you can reset it and it's just going to do that. And again, if I go stacked, I can just reset and it's going to do the stack, which the way I had it. Again, that's just a personal preference, doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep it stacked. Now, for the font size, I have it on huge because I'm recording these videos and I want to show you guys the code and make sure you guys see it. But for yourself, I recommend, maybe using large or something based on what you are comfortable with. Just makes it a little bit smaller. And also you can go really smaller sizes as well, normal, small, tiny, and all that stuff. That's just really a personal preference again. But again, if you have a long code, for example, obviously you want to make it a little bit smaller. But in this video, for this case, since I'm making a video here, I'm just going to keep it huge. So for the indent type, so this is essentially something we're going to talk about later on. It is for when you're writing more complicated functions and more complicated code. Spaces or tabs, it's just a different way to kind of create space between some code. And again, we'll get to this later, but keep it space, it doesn't matter, but keep it space. That's one of the most commonly used kind of indents. And then indent size, that's essentially like the size between like these like indents, like two spaces or something like that. That would make it an indent. So again, nothing complicated there. The rest of it, really, you don't have to do anything. One thing that I recommend implementing, if you don't have it, you want to check out this section called code intelligence. So essentially what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to get some help when you're writing your code. So it's going to provide like smart hints, so that way you can actually write your code easier. It's something you definitely want to have it enabled. Even if you're an expert coder, it's very useful to have it. So usually I think it comes with disabled. You can like enable it. And let me actually show you what this does. For example, if I clean this code and say print, what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to give me these tips essentially to like what I'm supposed to do and all that stuff. So again, very useful. You definitely want to have it enabled. All right, so that's that. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to show you guys here. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So we got the coding intelligence. Everything else really is not a big deal. The coding multi-selector, not a big deal. And everything else, you're pretty much good to go. And also you can change the theme as well if you'd like. You can actually have light, dark, all that. Or you can actually just, have fun with it and use different templates that people have, which is really cool actually. Actually, I haven't really played with this too much, but it is very interesting. So that's that. Again, that's how you can actually set up your workspace essentially. Okay, so yeah, you can just play with this. I usually keep my themes dark. The reason I do this is because when you're coding, you look at the screen for so long, and that is going to actually maybe mess with your eyes a little bit. So it's good to actually keep it dark so it's easier on your eyes. But hey, maybe we choose a spooky theme. Let's see what this does. There you go. That's a spooky theme, and you can actually just play with some new themes. Maybe we can actually install this. Let's take a look at this. Templates, and let's actually go to Repulse here. Just open this up again, and let's take a look at the theme here we just installed. Yeah, again, just gonna keep it that way. So that's dark, light, that's dark. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, nothing complicated here. We don't want to play with this too much, but that is pretty much how you get started. Again, nothing complicated here. And also make sure you fork this project. That's very important. Or like, you have to actually start a brand new project. But yeah, make sure you fork it. I have a link for you guys. If you take a look at it, again, if you go back, if you click on that link, it's going to look like something like this. You can click the fork here, fork option, and it's going to allow you to fork this project. And one more thing, again, it's something that you're not going to be doing that much, but in case if you want to create a brand new code for yourself, this is how you do it, by the way. Again, this is not something you're going to be using, but just I want to share it with you. So you can click this plus icon, okay? And it's going to ask you what kind of code you want to write. So again, you can choose a lot of different stuff that you have available here. So for this case, what usually we're doing is that if you actually go search Python, we have a lot of different examples, like different options of Python, because again, there's so many things you can do with Python. So we're actually doing CMU graphics, like just the simplest kind of Python, the big beginner kind of Python is. That's what we're doing, right? But or simple GUI, that's just a simple kind of Python. But again, you can just start different kinds of Python projects, and this is something we'll talk about later on as well. It's just I don't want to confuse you with too much information. That's something I absolutely hate, and you can actually again just fork this and get started. Let me know if you have any questions with the forking, if there's any difficulties or anything like that. Definitely let me know, because you definitely want to fork this and have this page ready. Okay, it's because we're gonna start coding, so you definitely want to have this project ready in front of you, where we talk about this stuff. All right, guys. So let me know if you have any questions. Get your Replit started and set it up, and let me know if you need anything. I'll see you in the next lesson.